Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hay season's upon us. It's not that far away. We're actually probably going to be starting to cut hay here in the next couple weeks. So today's project, we need to get the 100 horsepower tractor into the shop and get the oil changed on it. Now I normally do change fuel filters as well whenever I service it. My father did not pick up any fuel filters. They're fine, we're not having any issues, but we do like to try to change the fuel filters and engine oil and filter at least once a year, right before hay season starts. That also gives us a good opportunity to just check the machine out, grease it, and just look everything over, check the coolant, clean the air filter, replace the air filter, whatever we got to do. Now's a good time to do it because when hay season rolls around, this thing's going to get a lot of hours on it. It's going to be hooked up about every day, weather permitting. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to get the oil changed, get the machine checked out, make sure it's good to go. My father's already checked out our mow machine. I'll do a walk around on it sometime in another video and just kind of show you what we use to mow hay with. And same with the baler. We've got two different balers that we use. We've got one which is a older Heston baler. Before we had this big tractor, it's a lot smaller baler, makes smaller bales, 4x4 bales. Our old baler was a M&W, it made 4x5 bales, but the baler we're using now is a big New Holland. One of my dad's friends that he bales hay with, they do it together. They both mow and dad rakes and he bales, and it works for them normally. So I don't remember exactly what baler they're using. It's a BR something, big New Holland. It'll make 4x6 bales, net wrap, twine wrap, whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna get the New Holland fired up and I'm gonna drive it around just a little bit and get it up to operating temperature, and then we'll get it pulled in the shop, get the oil changed, and just kind of check the machine out. So hang in there. Okay, tractor's all warmed up. I'm gonna get the hood popped up and get a couple buckets and get underneath the machine, start getting the oil drained out of it. Then we'll get the oil filter off and just get everything replaced and checked out. Okay, so the oil filter is gonna be on the left side of the machine. It is stuck right up in here. And we do always write the hours of the machines on top of the filters or on the side of the filter, wherever you can see it easily. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the wheels all the way to the left. That'll just give me a little bit more room to get in there by the engine oil filter and the oil fill tube, and then we'll get this thing draining. Okay, drain plug's loose. This machine holds 10 quarts of oil, so a 5-gallon bucket's plenty. Now watch out, this oil is gonna be hot just because we just brought this thing up to operating temperature. You do that so you can get the oil and all the contaminants circulated. It just helps get more of the contaminants out. It just helps get more of the contaminants out of the oil when you go to drain it. Okay, while that thing's draining, I've got the oil plug cleaned up. This oil plug does have an O-ring around it. It's flattened out fairly decent. I wouldn't reuse O-rings, especially on your oil pan. Just buy some new ones. That's part number right here for these. So I'll get the old one popped out, put a little grease on the new one, and it'll be ready to go back in. So you can see on this old O-ring, if I can ever finish getting it off, that thing is smashed. It's flat on one side, not rounded at all. I don't know why it got cut the way it did. It shouldn't have did that. I'll look whenever I put this on to make sure it's seating properly. So let me get a little grease thread on this new one. We'll get this thing put back on. Just use some red and tacky, get the new O-ring put on. So once this thing gets finished draining, we'll put this oil plug back in and get the oil filter popped off. Okay, this thing is pretty much stopped. It just has a little bit of a drip on it still. Got the new O-ring on. Gonna go ahead and get this installed and get it tightened back up. Okay, now let's do the oil filter. Go ahead and line my bucket up while I'm down here. As far as oil filter tools go, they've got pliers, all different shapes and sizes, sockets for specific size, oil filters, chain wrenches, and strap wrenches. Whatever works for you, use it. Okay, let's see how big of a mess we can make. Not too bad. Clean off this surface. Okay, there's a filter we're using. I did go ahead and put grease on the O-ring. You can use engine oil, grease, something. Just don't put it on dry. Good enough. So it's a good idea to write the hours on your oil filter just because it makes it quick and easy. Whenever you are curious when the last time you changed it, you can look at it and see how many hours you got on your machine. Okay, so this machine had, from last year till to now, which is hay season, all of winter while we fed, had 141 hours on it. Not awful. We baled quite a bit last year, but not as much as we have in the past. But now we'll get 10 quarts of oil and some Lucas put in this thing, and it'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 quarts of Lucas in this empty jug now, just so we know how much we got. And so we'll do 8 quarts of Rotella and 2 quarts of Lucas. I'll pour the Lucas in. I always save a little bit of engine oil. I think it helps just kind of rinse everything down. That Lucas is pretty tacky stuff, so it just helps kind of clean the filter out, or the funnel. Okay, now the oil's in, we'll go ahead and check the oil. We will start it and just let it circulate for a second. It's right there, right above the full mark. It's full. Now's the time you want to check for any leaks after you start it also. Okay, engine oil's been changed, filter's been replaced. I'm gonna check the coolant on it, make sure it's topped off, and then go around and grease everything on the machine and we'll be done. It's full. And we just will check the hydraulic fluid, make sure it's good. All right, everyone, the machine's ready to go. Here in a few days, we'll get it hooked up to the mow machine and check everything out again, and it'll be ready to start mowing hay. So if you found any of the information helpful in this video, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.